All right, we got a game day on the Real Kyper Bourne Show, Leaf Hour edition of our program. We are live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, where we have a ton of loyal watchers and listeners. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, and Gomez Adams. Andrew? You sure?
Yes.
Because you sewered me last time on that one.
I know.
What did you call him?
His name's Andrew. I called him Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
We got it right today.
Got it right.
We're on fire.
We are on fire. Toronto Maple Leafs get set to face Matthew Schaefer and the New York Islanders. Notice, JB, I didn't say Bo Horvat and the New York Islanders. Didn't say Matthew Barzal and the New York Islanders. I said an 18-year-old kid, a teenager.
How is he still 18? It's March. Stefan Rosner, the Islanders, said the following Islanders were born within 2 hours of Toronto: Schaefer, Cizikas, Ritchie, Horvat, Pelech. They got a bunch of guys that are Toronto boys.
And a little motivated tonight.
Yeah, why not? And they're in the thick of it. They're in the fight.
All right, listen, we got a jam-packed show. We got
so much content.
Okay.
Valley at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Cal Clutterbuck will join us to tee up the Islanders in about 20, 25 minutes. But no one's more excited than our very own Sammy McKee, because we came in here and we twiddled our thumbs and we looked at each other and we're like, oh, my God, what are we going to talk about? And Sammy's like, boys, we got a ton.
Okay. I mean, we kind of do. Like, on the sliding scale of now until the end of the year, this is very high on the scale in terms of things that we have to talk about.
Really?
Well,
big day.
It's not.
Can't wait.
First of
Islanders
all,
game day.
It's not often where has George Kypreos ever spoken before in front of microphones?
Yeah.
When?
I think every year there's a GM meetings and he's down there presenting.
Infrequently is fair,
but
though.
it's coming
Addressing
off
the media.
It's coming off a very, very high profile suspension. So I get where you're going.
Okay. So we have that.
Okay.
We have the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs addressing the media at said GM meetings.
Nice.
Okay.
We have the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs still talking about the Matthews situation.
That's nuts.
And that's pretty much it. So
That's
we're
it.
going to start.
By the time we get to Cal, that's it's good to go.
Where do you want to start?
I'm torn on this because I don't really I guess we got to get through this Matthews stuff with Berube just to put it to bed, right? They're still talking about it. So
I don't know if it's ever going to go to bed from here on in.
Well, no, I see your point. It's going to be relevant to the next year.
All right, Sammy, where's our clip? Where do you want to start us?
There is some responsibility on you guys to have some idea what you want to do.
Buddy, I'm so grateful for a guy like you today.
You've gone full Bobcat. You show up at 3:55, hack a dart, and come in here and do a show. That's where we're at here now. Like, you both are looking at me. All right.
I'm picking up your energy.
Oh, okay.
So
if I wasn't here, what would you two guys talk about? The weather?
I don't know.
Sam, you're such a savior to us. Just thank God for you. Just really carry us, pal.
All right.
So where is the spin? Where is the energy? Where are we diving into?
So CJ this morning at Morning Skate asked Berube, like, are you guys like still talking about this basically? Yeah. And clip 3 there, Andrew, if you could play it. This was the answer from the head coach.
It's something we've talked about almost daily, about, getting in there for each other and being physical and hard to play against. And when somebody, takes advantage of, just the other night with the goaltender in Buffalo, OEL's right in there and we have everybody in there. That's what we need to look like all the time.
Okay. I mean, I get it, but it's a little late, but better late than ever, I guess, just to kind of finish out a look that ultimately won't play too much in, I think, decision-making next year. Is that safe? Is that fair to say?
Well,
or can guys go out there and say, oh, I get it now. It took me 65 games. It took us out of the playoff mix. It took us an incident that thoroughly embarrassed us. But I get it now, Coach.
Nah, see, it feels to me like Berube's embarrassed. Because, like, if this was this important, then it would have been made important to the team. That he would have been on it throughout the year. And I know he said the comment that he has mentioned it, so maybe he has their attention more now than he has in the past. But it does feel like he's trying to play catch up and be like, this is important to my team. This is something that I've...
Not to totally dismissive, but, like, we are in a huge development stage for a guy like Easton Cowan. A couple of Marleys can come up. They can pick something up out of these 15 games still and take it into next year. I'm not totally dismissing that.
Sure. Yeah, like, I think it's good that it's important. I would say my one concern is, like, are they going to make decisions based off this incident this summer? And if that's the case, does that mean they're going to go out and try to find the most punchy guys they can? Or is it...
Well, the thing is, that's what this year was supposed to be.
I know.
That's what's, like, the most infuriating part about all this is the buzzword at the start of this year, in the summer last year, was the DNA change.
Yeah.
And that, you know, getting rid of Marner and bringing in more capable bottom six with the guys that are bigger and maybe not tougher, obviously, but bigger and whatever. This was kind of the objective going into this year. And then in that year, you have by far your most famous moment for not sticking up for one another. I think that makes it a tough pill to swallow. But to your point, I just think it means, like, they're maybe going to, like, trade Willie or trade Riley. Who the guys that were on the ice.
Just a crazy connection to me to be like, you know, we need to get rid of more Marner types and get more.
But I mean, like, the Willie talk's already out there, right? Like, I mean, you mentioned that it was even there at the deadline. Like, it's going to kick back up here. Riley's going to kick back up here. And it's easy to look at those are the two guys that were on the ice that didn't jump in, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying I want them to trade Willie. I'm just saying it's going to kick back up, and that is going to be a reason it's talked about.
I get the incident, and I get the attention it's given the Leafs and the focus. But you don't get rid of Morgan Riley because he didn't step in on that incident. You get rid of him because it's just time.
It's over.
Okay? And you don't, to your point, you don't just get rid of Willie possibly and just say that you got to go get two tough guys or three tough guys instead of having that talent because he didn't jump in there either.
Right.
Like, it might have been the cherry on top and it might be the spotlight, but it has really nothing to do with the changes that you really have to make.
You know what it is? It's the flipping over of the rock in your yard and you see all the gross potato bugs under there. They were always there. But you just didn't have to look at it till you flipped it over, and this flipped the rock over.
Indirectly,
that's so good.
You're right. Indirectly, it is a reason why you're in this place, but you're in this place because your team just wasn't good enough. It wasn't deep enough. It wasn't tough enough, of course. And it's just being highlighted now because you guys were you misread a reactionary moment.
I read something, I forget where it was, but it was talking about, like, the type of guys that they've brought in up front to try to be these guys who could play and have toughness. And it's been Michael Bunting, Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi. You know, none of them.
5'11".
Thank you.
5'11".
You know, like, you're bringing in.
They did try the Nick Ritchie thing. It didn't work out very well.
But like, to me, that's the size of the dog in the fight versus the dog in the fight. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be your bull.
And you can have one of them. You just don't need four of them.
Well, and it's hard to find guys who are big and play tenaciously and produce offense. So they have typically gone out and got either big or guys who produce offense. And they've just haven't found many guys who are a combination of it, which is why I'd rather work with Matthew Nyes than Trado. Because he could do it.
Okay, let's do a follow-up to that last one. This is a question that Luke Fox asked. His questions in the clip here. So let's play clip 4 there.
5 to 6 points since Austin went down. Like, how much are you looking back at that moment as a point that snapped the guys to attention?
Sometimes it's a wake-up call. You know, it really is. I can't allude to that's why, you know, but I think if I look back from that game on and how competitive we've been and how physical we've been, it's a big difference.
It is really, I mean, they are playing way harder since, and they're winning games since. Like, that's not an accident, I don't think.
I wish this wake-up call came, like, maybe in November.
Right.
When they were, had a chance and we all thought that they might be a playoff team. Not saying they wanted the need to hurt Matthews then, but just like some kind of wake-up call.
Right. We've all covered this time of year for the past 10, 15, okay? And you can go down every year this time of year where you can look and pick teams that have just sucked. And then
the Sens.
There's
it's a Sens. It's a Senators every year. They're horrible all year and then get hot.
It's been Buffalo at times. It's been like there is a trend that just for whatever reason the edge is off.
Pressure comes off.
Nobody expects anything out of us. We're all trying to. We're all just trying. We're all squirrels just trying to get a nut here, and it can often look like this with a lot of clubs. And again, how much do you want to read into that? Let's take it all back again in September or October.
Well, you shouldn't read any. No, bad. Don't do that. What you should do is look at your club and go, this was here all along. It's the same guys. Why couldn't the coach get it out of them? Right? This is something they were capable. If you needed less pressure, that was one of the options you could have had. If you needed more pressure, also an option.
Yeah, if these guys were capable of playing really hard and looking like a winning team, but they weren't doing it for some reason under this coach, we should probably bring in somebody else to try and get this version out of them earlier.
Exactly right.
Right?
Like, not like, hey, we're winning now. They figured it out. It's like, could they
there's
done
no
that before?
Can I just clarify something? Yeah. I'm going to ask you this question because there's not a run they can have here that's going to save jobs, is there?
14-0.
You know what, Sammy? I behind the scenes, you hear stuff like, they're thinking about it, or no, there's no chance they're bringing them back. But until you don't know.
Which one are you hearing? You want to say?
I don't want to say it right
okay.
No, because it's
you
just.
don't want to blow my head off.
I saw Kip having a good think on that one. I wanted to let him off the hook.
Gerbil was running on the wheel hard.
Listen, anything would be just a guess, guesstimate, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that right now. All I can say is they're here and they're acting accordingly, and what real decisions are there from here on end, by the way?
I think
What's that?
There's two really.
The lineup on a daily basis.
Oh, you mean during the season?
For two coaches and general managers. Yeah. Until you're told otherwise, you just conduct business like it's your job, and it's going to be your job next September.
Yeah. Let me ask you: do you feel like a recent piece by in the Athletic that the Leafs need a guy, a visionary, a Brendan Shanahan? Doug Armstrong just turned down his Hockey Canada position, and I joked that it was to focus on the upcoming Leafs job. Everyone's talking about Chris Pronger taking a more significant position somewhere in the NHL, getting into the side.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And I look at when Brad Treliving came in, it was to work with Brendan Shanahan. Yeah. And if you look around right now, there's a lot of that going on, and I'll use Montreal as the best example out there between Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes. And in my feelings, that's what all teams should have, not necessarily just the Toronto Maple Leafs. But when Brad was hired, it wasn't for him to be that guy, because he is the general manager, but now he's the president and the president of hockey ops, and it's him. And then after that, I know he's got some lieutenants around him, but the one with the biggest voice is Craig Berube. Not anybody up there in his office beside him. And it's just not enough for me.
No, the Leafs, say what you will. People talk about, us and the Leafs or whatever. It's a different organization. It's a different beast. It's a bigger machine. It is huge, and it's a big ask to have Tree be the guy to be all those different roles. And I think this is the rare operation where you need a few people. And experienced people would be good.
So just even the system alone between Craig, Berube, and Brad, it's really set up for them to fail. You know, if those two guys have the most powerful voices in the hockey department and the hockey decisions, it's set up for them to be at each other's throats, if you ask me.
Yeah.
When you got a guy that obviously is the general manager and the architect and the builder of this roster, and then sometimes you look on the ice and certain guys aren't where you think that they should be, and then you factor in all the losing, like it doesn't bode well for them to have a cohesive kind of feel moving forward here. It's set up for them to be at each other's throats, if you ask me.
Let me ask you both this question. So, for example, this offseason, if they're hesitant to get rid of Brad Treliving, for example, and they brought in Pronger Man X or Doug Armstrong or whoever the big hockey sexy name is over, and they brought that person in but kept Brad Treliving, is that something that you guys would be comfortable with?
It's interesting thought exercise. Yeah, I think it depends how strong a position the new guy had. We're going in a totally new direction. Here's what we're doing. What do you feel like Tree, his responsibilities are? Like, I think a lot of us have felt that, like, Alvin in Vancouver hasn't really had a lot of input in some of the decisions. It's been Rutherford, right? Like, there's some of this, new GM, but, like, it felt like Rutherford was making the calls. We even heard someone talk about they called the Canucks to make a trade, and Alvin was like, that's not up to me. I got to, like, pass you off to Rutherford.
Yeah. It still is the buck stops with me, right? There has to be one main guy for sure. It's just a matter of how much you trust and empower people around you, and where you need to say, no, that's my decision and this is it and it's final. I mean, it's not an easy process, but I still, despite Alvin's lack of success or Vancouver's lack of success, I still think it's more of a, then you're dealing with reputations, character, what have you done lately kind of thing. But just if you have the right people around you, I think that's still the best way to go.
So today the GM meetings, Brad Treliving spoke to, I think it was just Kyle Bukauskas, but there may have been some other, he was asking the questions. I guess we were talking about the plan going forward here. He also asked, because there was that report, I think, Friedge, that he addressed the players about Matthews. Kyle asked him about that. Go either way. Let's go with clip 2, the one about Matthews first. Clip 2.
There's a report out there that, after the hit last week and the immediate response from it, you had called some players after the game. Was that in fact true, and just why was it important to you, if so?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into any of those things that happened, Kyle, behind closed doors. I talk to our players all the time, and certainly it was an incident that, like a lot of things that go on during a year, there's certain times that you feel that you have to address things. So we talk to our players all the time, but to get into any of the specifics, I'll pass on that. Other than to say, between Craig, myself, and the players, it's been addressed.
So yes.
Okay, excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So reporting that he made calls to players now is newsworthy?
I don't think it's not. I think it's newsworthy.
You don't think it is?
Okay, like,
isn't that the
no, it's
show?
not. Like, don't you assume that either the message is getting through? Like, I just don't. No, I don't get it. I don't get the.
Well, let me ask you.
Calls like
who was the GM of the Rangers?
I never got a call from a general manager unless I was traded.
I know, and
right?
I've been
There's
around.
The story.
I've been around enough organizations that how often was Lou Lamoriello in contact with Brad Boyes?
But they text each other all the time. They do.
Oh yeah, I believe texting.
They text each other all the time. If they called, like, what's the big deal? What is the big deal that they called?
The players text with Tree all the time? Is that what
General managers do text with their players now. That's just a norm now. That's just the new world.
Really?
But
yes.
I just don't think GMs are as consistently in contact with their players as a coach. It sounds like Tree is maybe more involved in the room, and we actually have another thing here where it sounds like, but no, that's not.
That would be a meeting. That would be like, hey, go see David Poyle in the office, or Paul Holmgren, whoever was in charge at the time. Go see Cliff Fletcher. I've gotten those those, but I mean, it wasn't necessarily newsworthy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it depends. If he's how involved should a GM be in the day-to-day with the players?
Well, whatever he feels, that's a big deal. Not having anybody respond to your captain while he lies on the ice
I agree that
is a big deal, and that is worthy of a general manager going into a dressing room, addressing the team, or having certain individuals come and meet him.
But you don't think that's
a text or a phone call.
I think if it's nothing,
we assumed it was one of 4 of those things.
Oh, I never thought about it for a second of my life.
I mean, did you call the players? Okay. Yeah, what if I did?
Well, I mean, if he didn't think it was a big deal, why wouldn't he just say, yeah, I did? I don't know.
Because it's not your business. That's why. It's not your business.
Yeah.
That's the best answer. Okay?
That would have been a fine answer.
Who did you call yesterday? Let's talk about that.
You want to know?
No,
right?
Because I call nobody ever.
Yeah.
Except
not my business.
I call Allie. That's the only person I call.
Just not my business.
I also call Allie.
What was I going to say? I had something I was going to say about. Oh, yeah. So there's been all these reports that Tree's been really mad about the knee and going to the league, and he's really mad about this and he's really mad about that. Can you just be mad publicly? Can we see you be mad?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that help his persona if you came out and be like?
But then it's a show. Then you're talking about a show to appease you. And that's no good, Kipper, Sam. That's no good.
People were disappointed in Berube's comments about it, and that they weren't forceful enough. That they were. You got a lot of it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it now. That sort of stuff. People didn't love it. People were mad.
Let's get the third Treliving clip there, Andrew, on the plan going forward with him.
Well, listen, we've had a disappointing year. We understand that. I know everybody wants the answers today of saying, okay, how does, what are we going to do with everything? You're evaluating lots of stuff. And like I said, we've got a month or so left of the regular season. Certainly we want to see some people that we've got within the system in the Marlies to get some opportunities up. We've got to manage our recalls. But as we get to the end of the season, we've got to have a plan, and we will have a plan to move forward. But today's not that day, and you work through that with your staff. There's always lots of reports out there, lots of erroneous reports of things we're doing or not doing. But we'll continue to work through the rest of the season, and when we get to the conclusion, sort of do the review and the autopsy and move forward.
The one knock on Brad.
We will have a plan again.
No, not that one.
Okay. That's my knock.
No, my knock is today's not the day.
When is the day?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day's the day from here on in. Okay. And again.
Whoops, this is the day again.
The one knock again on Brad is that he overevaluates, he overanalyzes, and he's sometimes slow on decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And can't have that.
No.
Can't have that moving forward. If he is still the guy, again, maybe bring someone in who can just nudge him. Make a decision, stick with it, and let's go.
Just a pair of spurs, just to kick him in the sides once in a while.
You know who's really decisive? Doug Armstrong.
Well, it is funny.
I can't
you
get
look at Bill Guerin, whatever you think of Bill or the Wild or whatever, it's like they said, hey, we don't like this Parisi and Suter situation.
They're gone.
They're gone. We're moving on. We want to keep Kaprizov. It's going to cost $1 million more than whatever. Okay. You just got to make some decisions at some point.
Speaking of Billy Guerin, how about that article in The Athletic the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
They're
you
interested in
guys see
Austin Matthews in Minnesota. And
I checked my watch here. Still under contract for 2 more years. Interesting article.
Old Terry tampering with the.
Yeah, what was that?
I didn't read it.
Oh, I mean, it's.
He mentioned Austin's name.
Well, the article is by Michael Russo, who's had on the show and does great work.
Yes.
And he had just mentioned that Bill Guerin wants to make big swings, and he's saving up his chips to make big swings.
And that,
Quinn Hughes and Austin really get along.
Went out of his way at the Olympics to prop him up as a leader and all this.
Guerin thinks Austin's awesome, and
lots of dots getting connected.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
No. It's
fun stuff for people to
It's juicy,
think about.
but as a Leaf fan, it pisses me off.
Does it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's just say, for example, let's just pick any Toronto. Let's say our boy Luke Fox went and the Leafs were sick and Quinn Hughes was thinking about leaving there. And he's like, they're best buddies and this, and Treliving was saying all these great things. Everybody in the sports media world will be like, oh, Toronto tampering Toronto, da. And the wild guy, Russo, does it. It's like, oh.
Now,
you didn't even see it. You didn't even see it.
You can't charge Russo with tampering.
Well, I love Russo, but you know what I mean?
You can't be pissed off until Russo writes what the Leafs might be getting back for him.
Well, yeah, they'd have nothing to trade. They just trade away all their good players.
Well, then.
No, he just said that they purposely didn't do deals at the deadline because they're keeping things that would appeal to someone who might want to trade a big star, perhaps.
Anyways.
Which could fit well for Toronto and Minnesota.
Totally.
Until you know, Sammy.
Well, Russo's all over it, so we'll get him on to talk about it. Anyways, let's go to break. We'll get to Cal, and then we'll maybe do some Pero stuff after Cal.
All right, sounds good.
How was that? Producing, boys.
Buddy, producing and hosting.
Unfortunately, I have many more things to say.
No, we still got some time.
All right, okay.
Still meat on the bone here, boys.
Yeah.
After the break, more Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, and Sammy McKee. Let's welcome in Cal Clutterbuck, former National Hockey Leaguer, over 1,000 games. The Islanders and the Wild doing a terrific job now covering the New York Islanders for MSG Network. Cal, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. So I'm looking at your stats and over 1,000 games, which is an incredible accomplishment. And for whatever reason, I just was curious to look at your penalty minutes, and I thought for sure, 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, 700, pretty respectable, but a couple of years where you had 10 penalty minutes in one season. Granted, I know you didn't play all 82 games, but how could a guy like you play that hard and not trip someone 6 times?
Well, that's where the 10 penalty minutes came from. Yeah, no, I don't know. If I was out there taking penalties, I wasn't helping out much. And I killed penalties mostly. So if I spent more time in the box than I did killing them, I wasn't doing my job.
There you go. Listen, hottest topic, of course, all week was the Gudis and the Austin Matthews incident. A guy that played the game like you. I'm curious to hear your overall thoughts.
Well, my thoughts on the hit, I guess, definitely an avoidable situation. I think, being a guy who hits a lot, I talk about it all the time. I always wanted to have, a plan B, regardless of how committed I was to hitting somebody. I always kind of was ready to get out of it, especially when you're talking about a guy like Austin Matthews. Radko's coming out of the corner. You got to know that Matty's probably going to try and make some kind of move, either one way or the other. So he just was unprepared to change his direction. Obviously, he was beat and tried to get a piece of him. It ended up ugly, obviously. And then as far as the response from the Maple Leafs or lack thereof, and unfortunately for Toronto, that the lack of a response is going to get a lot more attention than if it were to happen anywhere else. But that being said, if you play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's part of your responsibility, is knowing that that's going to be the case. But I think it's disappointing for anybody who probably is a fan of the team to see the lack of immediate response. I think just because it's a sort of it's a little tiny window into where the mindset of that team is at currently at the moment, and it's probably not a favorable one. So. Tough look, and you know what though? Since then they've obviously played well. Looks like they're playing a little harder. I've watched their last couple games. They beat some good teams. Sometimes it takes an incident like that for people to get the message. But it was a tough one the other night. I was on Coast to Coast actually with PK and Andy Petrillo when it happened. We talked about it ad nauseum. So unfortunate situation.
I actually think that's a great way for us to get into Toronto a little bit. We are on in the Leafs Hour, and so love to get your thoughts on, I believe you're from Welland, if I'm not mistaken. So you're an Ontario boy. You're very familiar with what happens here and the noise. Some people say that it's not a place that they would want to play. Some NHLers have it on list. They wouldn't want that heat. I don't know how you would have felt if you had the opportunity, or how you feel about it in general. Is Toronto something that you think other NHLers, it's appealing because it's near home, it's Canada? What is the general vibe from other players?
I think it varies. I think there are definitely guys who probably don't want that. I probably went through stages of my own career where I didn't want that. But at the end of the day, I think it would be an honor to play for a team. The team that, whether I grew up a Montreal Canadiens fan because I grew up with a French Canadian family. So, I was anti-Leafs from the time I was born, but it really doesn't. It's first of all, it's not really a choice. There are very few people that get to kind of choose to come here, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. For me, I think what's difficult about it is that, and over the last 7 or 8 years, I think that there's been a team on the ice that's very good, very talented, and had chances to go and do things. And I think some of the criticisms, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, may be slightly unjustified. If you look at, the teams that ended up beating them in the playoffs, by and large, would go on to win Stanley Cups. So it's difficult to kind of label them as well, they're unsuccessful, but to deviate from sort of the path and the plan that they were on, I think was a little bit potentially premature in my mind, because I always felt like every year they had a team that was probably good enough to do it. They just weren't able to do it. And then like once you get into the playoffs, it's got to be difficult for those guys, especially once they get closer. Like it's ironic because the closer they get to closing out a playoff series, the more noise comes out, and so it's got to be nerve wracking for them. It's got to kind of creep into the room. But I just think you need a group of guys that are, or at least a group of veteran guys who are very keen on just having the team kind of live in the moment and try and get it done. And I think that's the way I would try to go about it. But whether they were able to do it or not, they had good teams.
You're watching and listening to Cal Clutterbuck, who covers the New York Islanders for MSG Network. So if you had 2 tickets, would you lend them to Matthew Schaefer tonight? There's a guy that has no problem playing in Toronto for at least one night.
Yeah, he's got a crew here tonight. Somebody said he's got 1,000 people coming. Which I thought he was joking about.
1,000.
And then I was on with Carlo Coliaco this morning, and I was like, you know what? To be honest, there's 18,500 people he's got there tonight because everyone in that building's going there to watch him. So,
good point.
It's one of those nights where, his first chance to play here, and again, as a visiting player, even growing up in Ontario, there's definitely a special feeling and a pedigree when you come here for the first time. I remember my first time. It was the Air Canada Centre back then, but it's a special place, and obviously the Toronto Maple Leafs have a special place in every Ontarian's, every hockey player from Ontario's background and heart.
Yeah. Cal, the Islanders made an interesting move at the deadline, getting Braden Shen. Wanted to get your thoughts on kind of where they came from. Like, it felt like the Islanders, you guys had a couple of great conference final runs and kind of hanging on, and maybe we're going the wrong direction. And all of a sudden this past summer, everything kind of swung back the other way. Were you surprised to see them go get a veteran contributor like Shen, given that I don't think a lot of people thought they're like in their cup contention window yet? I could be wrong there. The East is wide open, but were you surprised at what they did at the deadline?
No, I don't think you're right by saying they're not in their cup contention window right now. But if you look at them, this is sort of the transitional period. You've got, Matthew Darche comes in, takes over for Lou. Our conference finals teams were well put together teams, a little bit on the older side. If you look at the majority of guys on those rosters, half of them are probably retired, and half of them moved on. And because of COVID and the cap crunch, we unfortunately had to sort of disband that team a little earlier than I'm sure we would have liked. And then, the core was left to kind of try and figure it out. But I think it was a kind of middle of the road roster with, for a couple of years, higher expectations than were probably deserved. And, you try and get younger, you try and get faster. And I think this particular period is Matthew Darche's chance to sort of, ramp up the ability to do that. Now, I think the Braden Shen move is a move that is a transitional period move. If you look at a lot of these guys coming up, a lot of their prospects, you got to figure they're 2 or 3 years away. They're probably going to be getting into the lineup, trickling into the lineup. And I think what Matthew Darche wants is he wants a string of veterans who are still capable, who've got a pedigree, who are able to sort of take these guys under their wing for 2 or 3 years, so that when Matthew Schaefer turns 22 or 23 and the window really starts to open, that some of these prospects are ready to go. And at that point, guys like Braden Shen and Kyle Palmieri will be probably ready to move on. But you need some leadership, and you need some guys in there to be able to sort of teach them the way and bring them along for a couple of years.
Well, while the window might not be right there for a Stanley Cup, you make that trade for Shen, it's certainly to make the playoffs here. But how's it feel right now with Pittsburgh's big win, I guess, last night over Colorado? But Columbus is coming on big time here. So how nervous are the Islanders, you think?
I think they're just as nervous as you would think that they are. But I think they've kind of taken the approach and the mindset that they just got to try and take care of what they can take care of. And they do have 10 of the last 12 at home. They've got some tough teams coming in, but I think it's one of those where, when I was playing, I always used to try and look at the number of points that you'd need to get in and sort of work backwards from there. So, if it's 99 this year, the Islanders need 18 points in 15 games. And, if I was in that room, I'd just put the number 18 on the board, and every time you get a point, you erase it and put the new number down until that number gets to 0. I think that's the only way you could look at it if you're the Islanders. And they're blessed to be in a position where they didn't think they were going to be in probably September, even with the addition of Matthew Schaefer. So, I think it's all kind of gravy for the Owls right now.
And then the influence that Patrick Waugh has had on this organization has been pretty notable. I think he gives them a pride and a direction. Maybe you can fill us in on your thoughts on Waugh and his influence, but it seems to me like even if they were going to miss the playoffs, he's been a really great energy for the Islanders.
Yeah, he likes to use his horses, and I think, and he likes exciting hockey. He likes to have those guys go out and do what they're going to do. And I think for the the stars on this team, a lot of the method the last little while has been more so about structure and defending and not turning pucks over. All the things that do need to go into a team when you're talking about trying to win consistently and going on cup runs. But I think for right now, he's allowing those guys to go out there, be creative, and they're responding to that. And I think it's been really good for Schaefer as well. I mean, he broke the record for minutes played by an 18-year-old defense or 18-year-old in the National Hockey League the other night at like 29-24 in regulation. And I'm just not sure there are other coaches on the planet that are going to allow him to go out there and play 29 and a half minutes in a game. But he's done it. If you look at the list of the top 10, his name's on there 7 times. I think he's been over 29 minutes like 5 times. So he's letting the kid play. And, if you're an Islander fan, it's exciting because you get to see him for half the game. Your ticket prices become worth it pretty quickly.
That's right.
Cal, really appreciate your time stopping by. Have a great call tonight, and we'll catch up to you again real soon here. Thanks for doing this, pal.
Of course. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cal. Appreciate it.
Clutterbuck, New York Islanders, MSG Network.
I didn't realize he played 29 minutes plus the other night.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah. So he's
unbelievable.
Just noteworthy that, what Cal said coming in. So, of course, I look at my career and anyone else in this Toronto area, there's your first NHL game, there's your first NHL goal, there's your first playoff game, Stanley Cup playoff game. There's being on the ice when you win the Stanley Cup. And then for a kid in this area, there's your first game against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a milestone.
Big thing. And I remember feeling like just a kid on Christmas Day.
You're nervous or excited?
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Just coming to the rink, of course. What made it extra special to me was the same building that you grew up watching, Maple Leaf Gardens. Yeah. Walking in and just saying,
That's really cool.
I'm playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs
tonight.
To have
gone to a game as a kid in a building and watched a game, and then come back with your
as a 7-year-old
stuff in a bag to play in that building is that makes me emotional. That's that's very cool.
And I scored. I didn't score the first time I played against the Leafs in Maple Leaf Gardens, but I did score against Grant Fuhr.
Yeah.
At Maple Leaf Gardens, and a goal that you remember like it's yesterday.
Yeah.
Till the day you die.
That's really cool.
We do have a clip, I think, of Matthew Schaefer talking about playing here. Find it very interesting. Yeah. Let's play it there.
Do you have a favorite memory growing up, coming to this rink or watching the Leafs?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a video actually of I was super young, and it was me and my dad. My dad took a video, and I was just chanting "Go Leafs, go" or whatever when I come up. But I mean, it's funny because times have changed, and now I'm an Islander and things like that. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think just coming to games. Obviously, this was one of the closest. I mean, here in Buffalo, we're probably the 2 closest NHL teams that I could go watch. So I wouldn't come to a lot of games, but I mean, my dad was a Leafs fan growing up, so. Obviously, watching them a little bit growing up, and I think now we're all Islander fans now, so, yeah.
Do you have
Go Leafs, go, you say.
Sam's anti-tampering until it's a Leafs fan growing
Go
up.
Leafs, go, you say.
He might not come off the ice tonight.
Cue the video. I'm coming home. I'm coming.
There's lots of talk about Chelios, eh? Could he play the whole game? Because there's some nights he can go well over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But obviously shifts are long and you need time to breathe. But
I think a Doughty in his
if he's playing
part of his career like that.
So Sutter coached both those guys, and he
Yeah.
talked about how Doughty would come to him after playing 26 and go, "You got to get me more. Like I'm sitting on the bench, I'm ready."
like, could a guy play 40 minutes a night? I bet you he could.
You know who could have? Duncan Keith.
Yeah.
The way he just skipped and skated, and it was those guys that skate so well. It's so easy. Seth Jones.
So did you guys? We have a little bit of time here. Do you want to hear George Kypreos talking about Gudas? Do you want?
I
to?
don't, but you
I'll
do.
defer to
You do.
Well, I feel
You
that
do.
it's very newsworthy.
Is this going to end up just a Toronto thing?
Well,
for
we
you?
are in the Leafs hour,
right?
We're in the Leafs hour.
we do.
I mean, what? That's
But
kind
you
of
know what I'm talking about when it comes to you and
Brandon?
chip on the shoulder you have for this department
Okay.
against your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Let's go to Kypreos clip 2, Andrew, on his decision to suspend Gudas for 5 games. Let's play that. now.
No, I feel confident in this decision. We came to it, for good reason. When we evaluate these plays, we look at the play, not the players. All right, and then we look at if we determine that play was worthy of supplemental discipline. We then look at the history of the players involved and if there's an injury or not. This is how we come to make all of our decisions. We did this and made this decision under those circumstances. Felt that this was the appropriate response, and so I stand by it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I guess if any question I have is, it becomes relevant who did it. And I know that they determined the play in isolation. Was it a suspendable play, regardless who it was? And then they move forward.
Can there be just a few guys where you can determine the player first and the play second?
Totally. Where you go, okay,
You don't
your
get the
third suspension, benefit of the doubt is gone.
Yeah.
From now on, any close play, we're assuming you did it. We're assuming intent.
I don't know. Guilty until proven innocent.
Let's do, and then the other clip I wanted to play is on the Gudas suspension process. Let's go clip 4, please.
So there was the general understanding there was an injury on this play. Okay, it seemed very obvious, and I do get an injury report at the time. When I decided to have a hearing, after that point in time, I call the team and let them know we're going to have a hearing for the play, the offending party. Then I'll find out what the injury information might be. So the assumption was that there was an injury on this play. And having that information and feeling that way about this, knowing that there's likely an injury, I still decided to have just a phone hearing for that. So, it wasn't like I decided to have a phone hearing, found out there's an injury, and then wished I had it in person instead, if that's what you're asking.
So there you go.
We
Doesn't
talked
sound
about
like
this.
they're looking for an overall summit on
No.
player safety.
No.
This is the way it is. Suck it up, Buttercup.
I think you made a good point before the show, is that because he almost never talks publicly about a decision, if you have no regrets and no commentary on it, what's the why comment? Like, it's just
We'll play in the national hour at some point his response to what McDavid said, which is more of a national story, I think, as opposed to those two Leaf ones.
that's probably the answer, is that
But-
McDavid spoke out, so he felt the need to.
But the answer is our process is perfect. We don't love our process. We're perfect. We're perfect. Like if you're willing to come out, I completely, all this did was piss people off more. Like there's no, if you think your processes are good, you think that it's fine. I have no idea. Like the lady doth protest too much. Like what's the point of a press conference if everything's perfect?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems a little needless to me.
It's tricky. There's just a hairline between one side or the other. There's right now it's hot because it's Austin and Connor and like we're seeing some stars getting hurt, and now the big question is like, are we doing enough to protect our stars? And it's like this is a physical game, man. You don't get complete bubble wrap around you because you're a star. You are just as eligible to get hit and hurt. And that's what happened to Leon Draisaitl. People are pissed off that fourth liner like Ozzy Weinblatt What is it, Sammy? How do you pronounce that guy's last name?
It's Wiesblatt, I think.
Whatever. He takes him out, and it's like, we lost a star. Well, no, you lost a player.
It is.
And you're eligible to lose players on clean hits.
I think the example commonly given is
but I'm sure Gary's going to be thrilled if the Edmonton Oilers missed the playoffs because they missed their second best player because some fourth liner took him out.
That's the way it is, and that's the game.
Yeah. It's different than the NFL where a quarterback can't be touched, right? They're a unique position that isn't in the muck the way that all NHLers have to be. NBA stars might be a better example where they get a little quicker whistle on some of those calls.
But if I have to sit there and watch Connor McDavid cry like Luka Doncic, I'm going to change the channel. So
there you go.
Like
you're going to get some stars injured.
But there should be, I think you should take it into consideration who's getting hurt when you go to give out a long suspension. The fact that I do, that's where I'm at. Like if you take out Draisaitl, and I don't even think that Draisaitl play was dirty. I'm not even saying, but for example, you take out Draisaitl or you take out Austin Matthews for the whole year, maybe you should get an extra game for that.
I do.
Like, is that not fair?
If you ran the simulation with both guys, no name bar on either guy, is the play is probably a game or two, but there's probably some Matthews.
Yeah, but guess what? They do have name bars.
Yeah, no, they do.
They do have name bars.
But then you're calling subjective.
Really interested and anticipating when Austin is made available and his comments.
He's not going to say a damn thing.
No, I don't think so. I think
he's going to say he thought it should have been longer, but what are you going to
do? When your agent comes out like that and Connor McDavid comes out and you guys happen to have the same agent and you say nothing, not a good look.
He's not going to say nothing. He's going to say, yeah, I thought there should have been more games, but they made the decision they made. And
okay, well, then.
It'll be boring. I can promise you it will be boring.
Yeah.
But he's had all this time to think about it. Spice it up a little bit.
A little performance? A little act? Maybe you should do like a TikTok about it or something.
But yeah, about all these skits going on.
Yeah, that's what he should do.
Like everybody, are we missing something? Should we do a skit? Should we dress up and pretend like we're doing something?
I'm dressed up like I'm a leprechaun today because it's St. Patrick's Day.
Who we're referencing.
Everybody's going Saturday Night Live on us now. What is that?
No comment.
Sammy.
Sammy's a TikTok influencer.
I am. Big time. My 1,000 followers.
Nice.
Yeah. Millions.
All right. Influence our watchers and listeners to stick around as we go national, Sammy, because we got Steve Valiquette next. Do not touch that dial. Welcome to the National Hour, the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available at your convenience, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where we got a lot of loyal watchers and listeners. Thumbs up for my boy Sammy and JB. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, on our familiar Tuesday, Steve Valiquette, analyst with the New York Rangers on MSG, and CEO Clearsight Analytics will join us. In the meantime, Sammy, what am I looking at in the background?
Where did that come from?
That old thing.
What's happening here?
The
Blackhawks?
A lot of drinks consumed in that jersey over the years, boys.
Oh, is that your?
Oh,
that's
my
your swords.
That's my that's just
that's not the swords.
That's a Jonathan Taves St. Patrick's Day Blackhawks jersey that I bought on a DH gate or whatever from China. Fake. I just consumed a ton of beers in that jersey. And it's St. Patrick's Day, so I brought it in. It's really weird.
It does seem like the contrast is off on our set or something.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
just a
camera
really
doesn't
weird
like it.
jersey.
Is that jersey going on after the show?
No, I got to go home and I got to watch the Leafs and do a Leafs talk. I'm not going to consume one beer on St. Patrick's
No
Day.
Guinness for you today.
0.
Really?
Not one.
We got to get this day off next year.
Tuesday?
Good.
I mean, it's maybe not for Bourne.
If you're a proper drinker, this is not the day to be out drinking. There's a bunch of people in your bar, and it's not good.
This is my favorite day of the year. I love St. Patrick's Day because most of the time, not in Toronto today, it feels like it's the depths of February.
Mm-hmm.
But most times, this day kind of warms up. It's in like the 10 to 15 degree range. You can maybe hit a patio for a couple. You're maybe outside.
Patio.
I love St. Patrick's Day, man. I'm not even gonna get to have one Guinness. Oh well,
It's just my favorite day of the year. Don't worry about me.
I'll have one at curling.
I'm
on
a
Saturday.
Thanksgiving, U.S. Thanksgiving.
Did we not interview somebody on St. Patrick's Day a few years ago?
Yes.
From Boston?
Yes. Yes.
I won't mention his name.
Yeah, one of the worst, most uncomfortable things ever.
Having an actual
Yeah.
drunk.
When I said to Kyper, I was like, "You gotta,"
Yeah.
and Kipper's like, "And another."
He leaned into question 4. I was like, let him go.
Ryan Leslie was actually he was actually pretty good. He was actually he got through it. He did get through it, but you could hear it was Boston first of all.
Yeah.
So he had no chance to step out of his hotel
honestly,
room.
In my defense, I actually think this is my bad. I shouldn't even ask. My fault.
On St. Patty's
It's my
Day.
fault. He's
No
like, in
guests on
Boston.
St. Patty's Day.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, he pulled it off.
We got through it.
He pulled it off. All right. So before we get to Valley, last night the Detroit Red Wings with a key win, and Patrick Kane looked like Patrick Kane when he was playing with Jonathan Taves.
Hold on. You think that's the story of the day here? Drysaddle's out for the year, bud.
Well,
Who cares about the Red
we
Wings?
talked about that yesterday. We said he was out week to week, and we said that he'd be
told
lucky
you,
if he
folks.
got a couple of games in.
I don't know.
I was saving Draisaitl, but
Okay. We have Valley anyway.
Now he's getting
now we got Valley.
Yeah, we got him.
All right, Valley, what's going on, my
How are
friend?
we, Kyper? Good.
Are you been out drinking yet on St. Pat's Day?
No, not today. I was on the ice this morning. I've been running around today. Just happy to be here in one piece, quite frankly.
Oh,
We're happy to have you, pal.
All right, Valley. We're down the stretch, right? And
Yep.
any particular place you want to start? I'll leave it wide open for you, my friend.
Boy, guys, I caught some action last night. We had the Rangers LA game, and LA took it to the Rangers last night. Listening to your show over the last week and a half, it's been a lot about culture, hasn't it? And we know it's a buzzword, but it can get overused where it almost loses its power and its influence if you don't give some examples. I was on the ice for 2 hours this morning. One of my shooters showed up late, right? I think part of playing sports is teaching punctuality. So that's one example of being able to show a young man what it means to be on time. And I skate him. We do Herbies. And if you show up twice within the same summer late, you do 2 sets of Herbies. And the third time, you just don't get paid for the entire week. So there are standards.
Yeah.
I have my goalie at one point sitting on the boards. That's one that I don't go for either. I think that looks lazy. It looks disrespectful to the game. Another one of the guys left the gate open. Like, these are all examples of, in my day-to-day, if we're talking about culture, the standards are set because the accountability is there. And I've listened to you guys talk about the Matthews incident, but this is a long-running culture issue. And I want to bring to your attention, I have the book that you guys must read. And I read this a number of years ago when I was really getting into team culture. Unfortunately, the title of this book, it's not really meant for being able to say it on television or on the podcast.
Oh, I read that.
You've read it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's great.
How good is it, right, Bourne?
Excellent.
Great book. And
Simple concept.
Simple concept. In the book, it's the no ass something rule. That's the book.
I think you played the wrong part.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought I wanted to say ass. No? I don't know.
You're fine.
Okay. So, but a big part of this book, guys, is that when you take away sometimes even your highest performer, as much as that hurts the optics, the overall infusion is about 30% to the rest of the group and overall production. CEOs, it's all in this book. Fortune 500 company leaders. One part of this book that really speaks to what I've seen in New York, you guys have seen in Toronto and other cities experience. The unspoken standard in American sports is that the more often you are right and the more often you win, the bigger the jerk you can be. And, Kyper, it goes back to when sometimes you're talking about the fungus on the sandal. If you win, it's okay. And otherwise, it's just bad rapport. It's a thing for us, right? And we have the same problems north of the border that you guys have south of the border, et cetera.
Okay.
It's the same problem.
So, Valley, as it pertains to our game, hockey, where does culture begin for you?
It starts with your leadership, meaning you need the right leaders because their power to enforce it is greater than the coaches. There's nothing better. Do you remember the story that came out last year with Florida? Part of the reason why I was rooting for them last year was when this came out. I think it was Brad Marchand should have dumped the puck in at the neutral zone. He didn't, came back to the bench, and the guys were like, hey, we don't do that here. That's a dump. You got no play. We're not doing any stupid stuff at the blue line. Get it in. We're going to go in and forecheck. But the players enforced it. Why doesn't it work? All of a sudden, Jack Eichel's a low culture guy, low attitude guy in Buffalo, but he's able to get over to Vegas and become a culture carrier. Or you can go through all of those examples of the Buffalo guys. I heard it about O'Reilly when he was there. And he goes to St. Louis. He's a culture carrier. It's like, if you don't have it sometimes in the place that you are, but you can have it somewhere else, doesn't it say a lot about the athlete and the player with what they truly want to be and represent themselves as? It starts with your leadership group because they can enforce it. That's where it starts. And it comes from the coaches to leadership, but leadership has to enforce it.
I think one of the things we get wrong or the things we struggle with when we talk about this sort of stuff is, all right, let's say the Leafs don't have great culture and this summer they want to improve their culture. And they're going to go out and they're going to get culture guys. Taping a guy to a team that it hasn't been working, has never fixed it. It's never been able to do it. To me, it's like your team has to win. It has to be good. Before you can even worry about this stuff, to me, there's a level of like, how bad can a team be that has awesome culture who then becomes a winner because of their culture? We don't have many good players, but our culture's great and we win. Almost never happens. You have to have great players in order to win enough for this culture stuff to happen. We never hear.
You putting talent before culture?
Yeah, I am. 100% I am. Yeah. And you're a fool if you don't.
I am against that.
Go get 20 Scott Laughtons and go play Mitch Marner 20 times.
I don't need, it's not one or the other. You just find enough of a balance that you get away with not being as talented.
I'm not opposed to balance, but until you have the talent, you're not going to win enough games. And when you're losing, everything becomes fungus on the sandal.
But what about Luka Doncic? He said this recently. He said, you go through the process of building your team and you start off bad. I've been covering the Leafs too, guys. I've been watching everything that's happened their last 20 years. They were bad. They became good. And when they had a chance to contend, they had failure, but they didn't learn from the failure. They just missed the final step. Mm-hmm. They were right there.
And I think
they missed the final step.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bourne, I think you're both right. The culture comes while the talent is building. Mm-hmm. It's happening continuously at the same time. But some way, somehow, your culture, I think to a certain degree, it was Rangers culture as well. So I'm not just pointing fingers, but I've seen it. Well, the build was happening. The culture was missed. It was bypassed. And it wasn't built. And because it's not built, by the time you get to the adversity stage, you can't handle it.
And the other thing too, Valley, is, in your experiences, the mentoring, the who's in the dressing room taking who under their wing. And again, the only example I can give you is the New York Rangers, 1992, 93, young, great players, one of the best defensemen in the history with Brian Leetch, no culture. Mike Richter, a promising goalie, little to no culture. They bring in not only Mark Messier, they got 5 of them who won in Edmonton. And Mark and Kevin now take a Brian Leetch under their wing. And Brian's smart enough to go, I don't know. I'm listening. Teach me. And it's so important to have those guys, not only to be talented like you want them, JB, but to have the responsibility to say, no, I'll never be as great as I can be unless I help you. I pull you up. And that can't be missed, that mentoring part in the room. You're just not a teammate. You can be a teacher too.
Well, that's the entire picture right there, Kyper. I think one of the issues a lot of organizations have is they are misguided when they select what they think is high character people in the draft or the ones they choose to keep. You can't select high character if you don't have high character yourself. It starts at the very top, at the top, tippity top, and it all trickles down to the ice, because those guys that are keeping the players that should be kept for the right reasons, that have the amount of talent required, to Bourne's point, that you need to win, those guys, then it funnels down. But
I think a lot of this is JT Miller in a nutshell, right? Like when he's been on really good teams, people are like, this guy holds guys accountable. He's the Rangers sought him because they felt like someone who does that, made him their captain. But when you're on bad teams, it becomes toxic and aggressive. And I get what you guys are saying. And I see how important that is, that, guys come along and the Matthews, Marner, Nylander era didn't have it. They didn't have mentorship. They gave them the keys when they were 20 and said, go be talented and win. They couldn't.
And that's where the money got out of hand early for that group, guys. It just spoiled everybody early. It was too much too soon. Yeah. That's just the way it is. I mean, we've seen that in this game forever. And we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah, we sure can. You're watching and listening to Steve Valiquette, New York Ranger analyst with MSG, CEO, ClearSight Analytics. All right, Valley, where do you want to start? How about some of the teams knocking on the door that still aren't in? How do you see the races? Who are you looking at in particular that could get in? I look at Columbus here, and I'm like, wow, they're knocking on the door, and so are the Ottawa Senators.
You know what worries me with Columbus a little bit, Kyper? They have the second hardest remaining schedule. That's one. They've got some big games coming up. They have Carolina 3 times, Buffalo, Montreal twice, Boston twice, Islanders, Detroit. They have the second hardest remaining schedule right now. One thing I can say from the time that Bowness took over January 12th, offensively, they went from a rush team that was 8th best in the NHL, and they went offensively from 8th to 25th off the rush. And typically what happens when teams do that, they kind of bring back the horses a little bit. They defend better. So although it looks bad on paper where we're getting fewer rush chances, we're actually giving up so much fewer. It's helping us. They are now the number 1 rush team in the NHL since January 12th, rush defense. So rush defense, they are number 1. Overall at 5-on-5 defending, they are number 2 since Bowness took over. Their overall record, guys, is 15-2-4 in 21 games. That's an insane 8-10 winning percentage. and they're still not in. They're still 2 points out. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of run they've gone on. The only thing that hasn't improved for Columbus since Bonus has taken over is the penalty kill. They are 32nd in chances against before him and after him. However, their goalies have the second best save percentage during that time that Bonus has taken over. So it has lifted them up. They've been getting great goaltending. They've been defending really well, but there's a mix of plus and minus on their offense. I see them playing great hockey with a lot of confidence, with a great culture, but they got to continue going at the pace they're going at to get in.
All right, well then,
Tough.
This goaltending thing, pretty important to some big stretches here as teams head down the final stretch, to be redundant. The Edmonton Oilers, Connor Ingram, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the horse they are riding. Your thoughts on their decision to basically say, hey, it's yours, take it from here?
They don't have a choice. And guys, I'll tell you what, the way that I found your show in the first place was because I used to watch Hockey Central and I saw Kyper on there and he used to make me laugh. Yeah. All right. And John Shannon was on there, Darren Millard and Doug McLean, of course. Now,
so we amuse you. We amuse you.
Well, there's content and there's comedy. It's very entertaining. But listen, my rule of thumb is anytime somebody asks me to come on a show, if I listen to it for free, I deserve to come on. That's the way I look at it. So I do the same thing when John Shannon and Darren Millard asked me to come on their show, 100% Hockey, and they do a great podcast. So I was on with them earlier in the week, and we were talking about Jari. One of the things that I brought up, and Darren got a kick out of it because he's a goalie. He still gets out there and plays a few times.
He thinks he's a goalie.
So we were talking about how goalies, they need somebody to look at them every day and look at their feet, look at their knees and their hips and their shoulders for alignment. It's like taking your vehicle in and getting it checked up. Now, one way that I was able to look at my alignment when I was playing, and never forget it, I'm in Bridgeport, Bourne, of all places, where you played. Beautiful. And do you remember the Wonderland of Ice? That's where your practice facility was. Do you remember that in Bridgeport? Yeah. So that's where I'm on the ice this morning as well, by the way. But nice. We're in Bridgeport, and I stand on the blue line because I have to figure out whether or not my hips are out of joint or not, because we've been on the plane, off the plane, on the bus, off the bus. And I just feel jacked up in practice, like everything's kind of beating me alongside. So I put a puck in the neutral zone. I stand on the blue line. I square up to it. I look down at my feet, and my right skate is 2 inches ahead of my left skate. But I felt like I was square. Not a good sign, right?
I should do that before golfing.
Yeah, well, 100% you should check your alignment. Yeah. Now, there's another way to check your alignment as well, and it is putting a puck at center ice, standing on the red line, but having it separate your body in two, so you're looking at it from the boards, and then checking your feet. And if the distance from your right skate to the red line is equal to left skate to the red line, you know that you are in proper balance. 2 easy ways for anybody to check their alignment. Why I'm telling you all this is because Jari's alignment's off. Mm-hmm. If you watch him as the players, and it gets harder when the players are advancing with the puck versus being stationary, but his alignment's off. And that's why pucks are coming off of him, getting to weird areas, creates more rebounds. 3 areas that he's really struggled with since the Olympic break are screens, broken plays, and rebounds. And those are also areas where you're required to fight. You have to really dig in and battle, and I think that he's missing that piece as well. So there's, to me, a little bit of compete there, which is why you sit him down right now. If you're Edmonton, get his alignment right, figure it out. I don't care if it takes 2 weeks. Run Ingram. When Ingram runs out of gas, which is going to happen, you've got Jari ready. That's the best they can do right now.
Okay, I agree with everything you just said. I just want to ask you now, what is the benefit of going public with really giving everybody the idea that Ingram's the man and essentially we've given up on you, Tristan Jari? What would that do to him? Check the analytics to the side here. What does this do to that guy mentally moving forward?
Remember last week when I was on? You got to piss him off. Piss him off. You can't shame or blame a millionaire. Let's face it. But you can take away their ice time. And when you take away a goalie's ice time and you sit him down and he has to watch, he has to prepare like everybody else and wait all day and watch. especially to a guy that's been a number one before. He's been on the struggle bus for 2 years, and for him to get off of it, he's got to get really pissed off and want more for his career. And that means it's either time to quit Tristan Jarry or commit more. And that's everybody's message. We've all been there during our careers, guys. At some point or another, we all hit a wall. I can tell you 3 times for sure that I was ready to shut it down, but I loved it too much and I didn't want to quit. And he has to show himself that way.
You changed my mind on that.
Yeah?
Yeah, you did.
All right. The one I have a question about is what's going on in Montreal there. Are you good on Edmonton?
I am.
Is Dobish, is he going to be the guy for them? Are you confident that Montreal, as they go forward, have a solution here?
You know, I wish that we were just a little closer with Fowler.
Yeah.
Because he's the best out of the 3. This season in expected goals, just basically what he should stop for the common fan. Like, what should you stop based on what you're seeing every night? It is Dobish at 19 or, I wish I had my list right in front of me. No, Dobish was 40. Dobish was 40, Fowler's 19, and then Montembeau's off the charts. So Fowler is your best option. Let's just call it. In the minutes that he's played in the NHL, he's a top 20 guy. If you want to be, apples to apples and the shots and chances faced, he doesn't have the big sample and volume that everybody has. But if he's a top 20 guy, once upon a time, we saw Patrick Roy in his rookie year absolutely run the table and win a Stanley Cup for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
And I believe that was 86. And I think that we can see something like that happen again that we've seen even in the last 20 years. Go to Cam Ward. Cam Ward played 14 games the year that he won for Carolina, guys.
Is that right?
It was Martin Gerber. It was Martin Gerber all year. Cam Ward played 14 games. So, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Fowler is a high-end talent. I don't have the same confidence in the talent of Dobish.
Gotcha.
He just, he makes me a little nervous sometimes.
So I can't recall, Valley, that we've seen a handful of teams that we can consider right now legitimate Stanley Cup contenders with questionable goaltending. Would he put Buffalo in there, Carolina in there, Vegas in there, Edmonton in there? Does it seem a little strange to you?
It does, until you kind of get down to the nitty gritty of what I believe is going to really matter in the end, which is what team. When we talk about defending the middle of the ice, guys, we have to narrow it down to not just the entire location area. It is middle of the ice, meaning don't let the puck cross the middle. If it crosses to the other side, you're making it very hard on your goalie, very hard on your defense. That imaginary line, I refer to it a lot on your show. I call it the slot line. It's a line through the slot. The team that defends that the best has the best chance to win a Stanley Cup. The differential or the difference between offense and defense for that particular club in how many more they can get offensively to outweigh or outride what they're allowing defensively, the top 2 teams are Colorado and Tampa Bay. That metric matters a lot to me because over the course of going 4 rounds deep, you're giving a very predictable environment to your goaltender. So you're allowing him to flourish under those conditions. That matters to me. The rush defense, that matters greatly to me. Those 2 teams have great rush defenses. They've won and know-how, and they have the know-how deep in their lineup to know how to shut it down. I think that matters to me. And the goaltending, those 3 pieces, I think go hand in hand, but they're also the most predictive. Rush defense, slot line differential, and then goals saved above expected for high danger chances. So your goalie's got to have a good grade A number. He can't just be giving up, 2 out of every 3 grade A's. You're not going to win. Right. So those 3 things matter for me. And I think the 2 most sound teams in the NHL right now, Colorado, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that checks out. So,
except last night for Colorado.
Yeah, we're all allowed to have imperfect.
It's a long year. Everyone loses 22 to 24 games before they win a cup anyhow. What are we talking about?
All right, I hear you.
So talking with McKee before the show, and we're talking about the West and Vegas, and they should win that division. And I said they're probably going to get Utah and walk through them, and he goes, "Are we sure they're going to walk through Utah?" I'm not sure. So I'm looking at the bottom of the West and looking at goaltending. If you're looking for a surprise team down there, Utah, Seattle, LA, San Jose, is there any team down there where a goalie could get red hot and maybe Utah's one, and carry them through a round or two?
Boy.
Veggie? You like Veggie?
I'm not all the way there. I've liked him for stretches, but for steals, like we haven't. When was the last time we've seen a mid-level or low-level goalie steal a series? I can't sincerely name one.
Would you have named Mike Smith a mid or low level, or was he a star? He was a star.
Halak
at the time Halak stole that series. He wasn't a star, was he?
No,
not yet.
So that was a good one. I'll go with Halak. I could say also Ottinger when he beat the Vegas Golden Knights in the bubble.
He wasn't a star yet.
Start of a star.
Almost,
Halak,
did it
Ottinger,
against Calgary too, didn't he?
It's not an every year thing, is it? Like, it's just not. I think that the goalies that are going to be playing that are mid-level to lower level tier, they just have to give a really strong defending team a chance to win. That's the best they can do. Back to this slot line conversation, just because I looked at this a little deeper today. Even the overall goals that are scored in the playoffs, guys, compared to the regular season, it's about the same. Like there's not a drop off. It's still the way to score, moving the puck from one side of the ice to the other. So far this year in the NHL, the conversion rate on that pass across is 30%. And the total number of goals scored in the NHL this year, passing across the ice, is 23%. And that's 10% of the total chances, but it's 23% of the total goals. Like, it's how you score in hockey. If I was Sammy, are your Zigzags still playing hockey right now?
Let's not talk about it.
Zags have recently been eliminated.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Well, major changes coming in the offseason.
Yeah, I've heard new GM.
Heartbreaking.
Let's talk about how we can possibly build a roster that can protect the slot line, okay? You guys, I'm sure if I went and watched you guys play, it's probably open season across the ice for one-timers back door.
You need some rangy length.
There would be no bigger nightmare for me, Valley, than you coming to watch a Zigzags game. That's truly my nightmare.
Oh, my God.
Just guest appearance and play golf.
Oh, my God.
We need to add an hour to the show.
Hey, remember last week, Bourne, we were talking about Colorado, and I had said their power play. Like, what are we doing over there?
Right.
This is funny to me. The number I gave you was 10 low slot line passes all season long.
Worst in the league, wasn't it? And 30 was the
worst
tops?
in the league. 32nd, worst in the league. But how come they're best in the league with the high east to west, above the hash marks, high hash marks? They go up top all the time.
It's probably McCarr. They're like, let McCarr run it.
Yeah, and guess what? They've scored 5 goals from up there all season on the power play. So this Colorado team, amazingly enough, at 5-on-5 is a top east to west passing team, but don't do it at all on the power play. I don't get it. I don't get it.
They got to get it into Kadri in the bumper now.
Kadri should help that, though, long term.
I think Kadri is going to help as a decoy there, and that's what you need in a lot of cases. I always look at the bumper as a decoy, guys. I was on the ice this morning making that pass from below the goal line to slot for the one-timer. It's a same side of the ice one-timer. Generally, your goalie, your expectation should be that he stops that one. It's not one that you should be too worried about, especially if you have coverage and you're clamping down on the guy. But, yeah.
What else, Valley? Anything else, or are we going right into grill marks?
Well, I had some Allmark, and I had some
Allmark. I was actually going to ask you Allmark.
Yes. Yeah. Can he get this done for Ottawa?
Well, I'll tell you what, he certainly lost some goodwill with me when he came after that Montreal game at the post game saying spot on. What was that all about?
I don't know. He was snippy.
You can't. How can you go there after? If you're going to use the mental health card and go there, you can't be spot on. Like, what are we doing?
I know. I've never heard, listen, I've been around for 40 years, man. I've never heard anyone answer a question spot on.
No, I was not happy with that. So, now, okay, you want to talk about what are the chances to get through? All right.
Yes.
Here we are. And I think when I label screens and rebounds as far as what do you need to be successful at those two things? It's not just technique. It is go for it. It's compete, and it's come out of form. It's scramble to make a save. Right now on screens, Allmark, 774 save percentage. That's second worst in the NHL. To give you some context, Spencer Knight is best on screens. He has a 906 save percentage.
Wow. That's
Rebounds.
a famous Sheldon Keefe clip where he says, can I get a save on those ones too? Like the goalie coaches make an excuse. Well, that one was tipped. That was screened. Well, can I get a save on those?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It starts in practice, and I had a bet if I watched him in practice, he's not going for all of his rebounds in practice. It's oftentimes if I'm talking to a goalie and they're struggling on breakaways, you know how you get your way out of it? Take more breakaways. How do you get better on rebounds? Play your rebounds. Go for it every time. As soon as the puck's leaving you, stay attached, go for it. There's nothing that pisses me off more when you see a goalie just wave the paddle in practice. Just wave it and give it to you. I call that a let, like he's letting you have it.
Yeah.
Go for it. So the rebound save percentage, he's a 635 save percentage on rebounds. That's worst in the NHL. Again, for some context, the best rebound goalie in the NHL is a 902. Sorokin, my Vezina Trophy winner that's not getting Vezina odds yet, Borny. What's going on with that?
I don't know. Bet it, folks.
So, yeah, that's
Game
my
time.
take on Ullmark. I'm not that high on him. I don't know. Going back on our shows in the past, I've always been really high on him, so I don't know what we're talking about.
No. Stay consistent, my friend. Stay consistent. Hey, did I go 3 for 3 last week? I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but how we looking?
Oh my
He's got a leaderboard.
oh my God.
Cool. That had to cost you 48 cents in ink. That's a full sheet.
You're not allowed to ever tell us you're too busy now to come on our show.
He's never said that once.
If you got time to do that,
that's right.
You got time to kill, my friend.
McKee's got to make up an MVP guest, a yearly Hart Trophy.
Yes. For those of you that cannot watch
Steve
him,
Valiquette Award.
a very colorful
would be mad.
standing board.
So, yeah, what we have on our standing board here is we've got, so first of all, Kypreos was on fire last week, and it was kind of neat. I got Flames here to represent your.
Oh my God!
I am right back in it.
So we got Bourne 35 points. Kyper was a +6 last week. He's up to 28. Sammy McKee is now down to third. He's 27 points.
God.
Now, for grill marks right now, guys, we're going to talk about a few different fun topics. First one, what player in the NHL has had the most low danger goals? So let's just call them, they've scored the most bad goals. The goalies have been bad for them. Gifts. I've got on my list Morgan Geekie, Cole Caulfield, Alex DeBrincat.
Caulfield.
I got to be honest. I do like that pick somewhat, but give me Geekie.
Give me DeBrincat.
Caulfield.
I like Caulfield. That was my first
boys, he's got 39 goals this year. 9 of them are low danger goals, so goals that you'd want your goalie to have a save there. And he has 7 broken play goals. I think this will end up being his career year because you don't get that much luck year over year. I think I've said this before on the show. Once you get to double digits in either low danger goals or double digits in broken play goals, it's buyer beware. Don't sign a guy for too high. Don't worry about that with this guy. He's got 5 more years at 7.85, so he's a deal.
Yeah, you're okay.
Next one. We are going to look at the goaltenders that have the most chances faced across the slot line. So these are the goalies, and what's really interesting about this list is in the top 20 for the last 3 years, no Stanley Cup winners. Again, protect your goalie against this pass. Now, these are the bottom 3 in chances faced across the slot line. It's either Dostal, Wolf, or Saros.
Give me Dostal.
Wolf. Flames suck.
Dostal.
Yeah, it's Wolf. Sammy's on fire.
Sammy.
Mighty Sammy.
Get that ink going, Valley.
So that was a big part of the research here this afternoon, is just how wide open Calgary is playing with Dustin Wolf and net. It's horrific for him. He's faced 149 chances east-west. It's ridiculous.
Lordy.
It's a ridiculous.
Yeah, tough to have good stats when you're diving across the net.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah,
And Colorado, we had Calgary in here this week. They might be the worst team in hockey right now. Now, this one here is kind of interesting. Most goals scored by a player with high danger chances. Most high danger chances without a goal is what it is. Most high danger chances, but they haven't scored a goal on a high danger chance. Okay. And it's defensemen. You can imagine why. It's Severson, Josh Manson, Brady Shea. So Damon Severson, Brady Shea, or Josh Manson says his most high danger chances without scoring a goal.
Manson.
They have 0 goals. Yeah.
Manson.
I'm torn on the other two names. I don't want.
Okay, you're awfully quick to go first all the time too, eh?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got a mic. You can jump in there.
Buzz in. Jeopardy here.
I'm very methodical.
Manson's a good.
I'll take Severson.
Manson's a butcher on a good team.
I'll go with Sammy's Manson.
It's Manson.
Yeah,
man, I'm getting.
Let's go.
I've got an answer
I'm
right.
riding the Sammy train.
Let's go, baby.
Exactly. That's hysterical. All right, Sammy. Good job getting ahead of everybody.
9 points.
Sammy.
I don't know how many points. 6, whatever.
That's all you can get.
All good. All right.
I did get a couple messages. Everybody's asking you about your hockey cards in the back. That's a nice sheet right there.
That's the OPG.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool sheet.
Are you on it? Are you there?
No, this is before me. This is Darren Pang right here.
Oh my gosh, I could be in there.
Pete Peters, my goalie coach in Edmonton's right here. Up there, Sean Burke. So I looked for you, Kyper. I have 2 of these, and I don't think you had a hocky card that year.
Is that
it?
Yeah, it could
what we
be.
used to call a common.
No. I had
We gotta go.
I had Granny Apples in North Bay card. Old May or whatever the bakery was up there.
I forget what year this is, but this used to hang in my basement.
That's 89. Is that 89, 88?
I got to double check. It sounds like 88, 89. I think that's it.
Valley.
Yep.
Love you, pal.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Be good. Love you, boys.
Great stuff, Val. YouTube. Thanks, buddy.
Valiquette. All right, you're chasing me.
Oh, we gotta.
Kip would take it right to the end of the hour if we let him.
Let's do game time before the break here. I got a new fancy read here, so I got to find it on my sheets. Here we go. It's game time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. 9 games on tap tonight, including the Toronto Maple Leafs hosting the New York Islanders. And I'll tell you right now, boys, it's a pretty easy bet for me. Give me a Matthew Schaefer goal tonight. He's been unbelievable this year. He's coming home to Toronto for the first time. Plus 350 on the money line for a Matthew Schaefer goal.
I'd be curious because the Leafs goalies are playing well. What, like Matthew Schaefer 3 shots or something?
I could probably figure that out if I
get a shot total.
You want Matthew Schaefer. 1 shot is minus 2,800, so probably not going to do that one. Minus 2 shots is minus 450.
I'm out.
3 shots is minus 140.
That's mental.
4 shots is plus 182. 5 shots is plus 400, and then it goes up from there.
So it's take him at over 25 minutes tonight?
I would take him maybe over 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah, I might bet the 3 shots.
28? 28 minutes?
I forgot to do this in our Leafs segment, but it's Kipper's Tank Watch. Big one for the Leafs tonight. The Jets are hosting the Predators. Jets are minus 130 in that game. Preds are plus 110. The ideal scenario in that game is it goes to overtime, and then the Jets win in OT, so that both teams will come out of that game with 68 points, which is 2 back of the Leafs 70. Anyways, that was Game Time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
All right, catch your breath.
Grill Mark.
Did you go 0 for 3?
2 weeks in a row. There should be a bonus if you get all 3 right in one show.
Ooh, I like that.
Like an additional
I like that.
bonus point.
Okay, we're back after these words. Leon Draisaitl, Doug Armstrong, plenty of big names still to discuss with our NHL news and notes when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365, Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Do we have a Doug McLean chat person?
There's somebody in the chat that, I keep an eye on the chat.
Yes.
The mean things people say about me on there.
No, they're loving you today. They're saying you're great at that game.
It's rare. Oh, yeah. Just somebody named Doug McLean, 8818.
Couch and Valley.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Couch and Valley.
I'm like, what the hell? Why is Doug McLean in here?
I tried out for the Capitals once upon a time.
And just a reminder, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Sportsnet.
Yep.
Appreciate you watching, listening, and giving us a thumbs up.
Love it. Did you want to talk about Doug Armstrong?
Sure.
We mentioned it a bit in the Leafs Hour with the Leafs slant on it, but we can mention it as a more national story now. We have a clip, Andrew, of him talking about his decision to step down. If we could play that clip. Doug Armstrong on stepping down.
I knew going in this was going to be it. I wanted to experience this one time, and it just took really, I thought it might be 2018 or 2022. It just happened to take to 2026, and I was fortunate enough to hang around long enough to get to do it, but it's certainly time for someone else. I've enjoyed it since 2002 to 26. That's a long run, and I'm looking to cheer them on now, and I'm looking to, next time they play, have my feet up in the sand somewhere.
He's been a part of it for that long?
Yeah,
Wait,
he has.
Since 02?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Hockey Canada?
Not as like the dude, but as...
No, Wayne did 2002.
No, but he's been around Hockey Hockey Canada for a very long time.
Wow. Yeah, no, he should definitely.
But I like that. It's fresh eyes, fresh
time for
look.
us to elect a new pope. We got to get all our people in one room, and when the red smoke goes up.
Who may get it?
Don't say it.
Kyle Dubas.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Think so?
I'm a lot more on board on it now than I was a few years ago.
Yeah, because he's not in Toronto.
Well, no, because he's doing a better job now.
No.
That's why.
Nah.
It's not that.
Well,
This
listen.
is Dennis Mulligan's
He's learned
chance.
a lot. He's learned a lot.
Hold on.
He's coming around.
He's doing a perceived better job in the downswing of a team that's supposed to be bad and is having an exceptionally good season above expectations and hasn't done a full draft yet and hasn't had, like, where he's at right now in the trajectory is better. He made a great trade to get rid of Jari. That was an excellent trade. I'll give him credit for that. But, like, let's just everybody just pump the brakes on him being the savior, okay?
Nobody's saying
You just said he's doing a good job.
That's not saying
it's worth him as a serious
You think he's going to be the general manager of our national team?
Give me two other names.
Julian Brisebois.
That he wouldn't run at least
Julian Brisebois
in a competition. See, all you're doing is just going, like, I don't know, Stanley Cups or right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
I think Dubas is very good. I think he'd be fine at it.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, I think there's certainly
buddy,
more
I got news for you. You don't groom him like that if you're Hockey Canada and not have him now be a serious candidate.
He's going to be part of it, but he can't be the grand poobah.
Could be.
You guys really think?
You guys think I'll be the video coach for
Hold
Team
on.
Canada?
Like, is this just pure speculation, or is this like
Also,
I've had phone calls
antagonism
with people?
is what it is.
Is this I've had phone calls with people that I do my little calls with, and I have a
You just got to read the
informed
tea leaves
speculation.
on this, Sammy. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
He has come a long way.
Great.
He has.
Great. Yeah.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Listen, he made a ton of mistakes here, and those are growing pains. And come on, look at Pittsburgh right now. They lost Malkin and Crosby for a significant amount of time. They had a huge win last night. He's doing something right.
That Chinnikov, I almost tweeted this last night. Every time I watch the Penguins, he absolutely pops. He flies. Probably going to score, 25 goals and 60 points next year, if I had to guess. This year, he's got 21 points in 29 games with them.
Chat wants Dubas.
Nice.
So Chat loves Dubas. They're just, Sammy's an idiot. He's never taught it. Yeah. I lived through Dubas listen, if you saw the trades, I guess he doesn't have to make any trades.
There's
as
nobody
team
more
selection.
critical than me on Dubas, but you got to be fair.
Okay, sure. Yeah, he's gone to Pittsburgh and got to tear down some of the stuff. And what I've seen so far from Pittsburgh, I'm not ready. He's doing an okay job. Like, sure. We're talking about Team Canada, boys.
Yeah, the teams he had here had 100-plus points every year he was here.
Like,
Wayne
Gretzky.
I need more information. I'm not ready to give it to him now.
Kyle Dubas. Let's just pump the brakes.
My
we
brakes
don't
are pumped.
actually get to decide, so you're fine.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got for us?
Gonna do Pero stuff or
Draisaitl.
Sure.
I'm really interested to see the look of this team without him for
Yes.
a prolonged period of time. We mentioned the other day, week to week, and they're hoping still he could sneak in a game or two, but it may be into the playoffs.
Game one.
There's been significant amount of rattling of his MCL, and it needs time.
To me, when you announce a guy out for regular season, like you don't think he's back unless you're very fortunate. April 17th, the day the season ends, like they're not sure if they'll have him game one. It's going to be close. That's kind of the timeline. So hopefully he's ready in 4 weeks. The thing with the Oilers season, they could win the Pacific, no doubt, and they could miss playoffs. Much harder to do, but they could still do it. So what's going to come down to is goaltending, defending. I'm not worried about their ability to shoot it in, even without.
It's a similar amount of points in either direction.
Yeah,
Like, it's
well,
not-
they're only 2 points out of first in the division.
And what, 3 points out of the last, out of the playoffs?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah,
The power
not,
play,
Touche.
the power
it's
play,
a nice edge, brother.
like not having Draisaitl on the power play,
Yeah,
and now the emphasis of just now the threats, of course, McDavid and
Boost bomb.
and the puck getting back to the top. But it's a lot easier to take that area of the ice away from them when 29 isn't waiting somewhere in a quiet area.
How's that Edmonton schedule look the rest of the way? Coming up, they got San Jose, Florida, Tampa Bay. So those are all at home. 3 games. San Jose, Florida, Tampa Bay. And then they head out to Utah, Vegas, Anaheim, Seattle, all playoff teams. Yeah.
What about Jim Nill? Futes just texted me and said Jim Nill.
For the guy in
For Team
well,
Canada.
if you're picking based on Stanley Cups, we're not going to get you across the line. But he's obviously very experienced. And
Jim Nill?
I like Jim.
who I feel like everyone was involved in that management group. Like I feel like they.
Well, I mean, there's a guy that has won a few cups as a player and won gold medals. But with Steve Yzerman, would he be interested?
Oh my God, Sammy, you're going to mention Carlton the Bear before you go to before you go to Dubas.
Kipper, I just mentioned Steve Yzerman. It's not like it's a.
Yeah, unfortunately,
But Steve Yzerman needs
Red
to make
Wings
the
are
playoffs this year
for the first time since he's
Okay.
been in Detroit.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Steve Yzerman needs to get the Red Wings in the playoffs here.
Okay. Fair. Okay. That's fair.
What about, and hear me out on this, Doug Armstrong? Would he do it? Full confidence in his ability.
Sam's got bigger plans, I think, for Doug Armstrong.
Oh,
Next year.
this frees him up to be the Leafs president, right? President or GM? Which one? Or both?
I think president.
Yeah.
And then you bring in somebody underneath him. Bring in bring in Moldover as a GM and get what's his name here? Get McDavid here.
I have heard worse ideas.
Yeah, why not? The general manager. Why not? Get them both over here. He loves Toronto.
Edmonton did that. They hired Connor McDavid's agent.
Exactly right.
How about Nate McKinnon? Nate McKinnon has recently made a comment here about the Avalanche's struggles where he kind of implies they were struggling before.
I don't know if we have time. Do we have time, Andrew? Okay. I'm not sure we have time.
He basically said winning can mask some stuff, which the implication to me is that they were maybe not as good as their record in the captain's mind.
There's a lot of teams that could have used more masking this year.
Yeah. Yeah, but also more honesty from their captain that even when you're in first, he goes, not good enough. This is the contrast of
He did
these years.
I actually was an excellent scrum. I listened to the whole thing. Talked about at the start about how the chemistry's kind of struggling, like with some of the new guys getting in there and working on roles, and some guys playing in center and wing that shouldn't be playing there, and just the communication needs to be better. We need to have better pregame meetings and all this stuff.
He said pregame meetings?
Yeah, we need to be committed and all this. Like he was.
That's the
coach. But it wasn't like mad or incendiary. He was just like talking about it and saying it.
That's
he's a freak,
So
man.
Nick Waugh and Kadri are playing wing?
No, he just like
No, but I'm looking at their lineup. Like that, they got those guys on
Drury
wing with Brock
at center.
Nelson, Drury at center with Parker Kelly and Kiviranta, and that Bardakov on fourth line center.
That's what you call a McKinnon culture reset.
they'll probably win the
Tighten
next
the
game.
screws a little on the boys.
I would imagine they'll win the next game.
All right, just like that.
Good bet.
2 hours gone by, and we've solved nothing.
I
Our
feel a bit
thanks.
bad about this thing. I mean, he's okay.
Our thanks to Cal Clutterbuck and Steve Valiquette. 9 games on tap. Find yours and meet us here tomorrow.